burn that I gotta burn.
Hey, all right. Let's see. How much of the intro song do we get tonight?
That
I
much?
I have I didn't touch anything. I put my hands at my side in my lap. Um,
That
Hi,
seems short.
everybody, and welcome to the Geek Spot News. Thank you for
Hey,
finding the spot of geek.
exactly.
Um,
Thanks, everybody. Great seeing you.
Apparently, there's something wrong with our intro song. It says
Yeah, I'll
32
find
seconds, and it lasts for like 7.
I'll find a new version of that for you, or you can
Yeah.
make somebody will fix that either way. Dom, Charles, great to see you in the chat as always.
How are you? So, how was your? I know you can hear me with the mic up there, but I feel like it's not. Like I have to keep moving it.
The fun part is with the way your camera set up, the mic blurs
Yeah.
until it comes in, so it just looks like this big black thing coming at your mouth until it's right there.
Right.
And then it looks a little bit more appropriate. Speaking of
Yeah.
that, hey mom, how are you?
Yes, that was
Yep.
wonderful timing as well. How was your weekend?
Busy, man. I had a couple gigs. I was down at Con Murphy's in the city on Friday,
Oh yeah.
which was nice to be back there. I was at Tony's out in Ivyland Saturday night, doing that, and then Sunday I was at a volleyball tournament all day for one of my kids.
Damn. You were
So
a
that was
hell of a
that.
lot busier than I was.
Yeah. Well, that's not counting all the other musical rehearsals and gymnastics and all that other stuff, and doing those things in between all those other events. But yeah, it was good. Kept busy. Got more stuff coming up rest of the month. Got a brunch gig in like 2 weeks.
A brunch gig?
Yeah, at Dockside in Bensalem.
Hey, Pete.
Well,
Okay.
10 to 1 on a Sunday morning. Should be
Oh, that'll be
wonderful.
nice. Break out
Yeah.
some Slayer.
Yeah. Probably some more Commodores than Slayer. We'll see what happens.
Little hallelujah, peace of the Lord and stuff like that.
We'll see what way it needs to go, and then we'll go from there. How about you, man? I saw you posted some more completed works.
I did. I
on
had
the
a
book.
I had a weekend where I kind of wanted to go out, and then I was like, I went and played hockey Friday night in our it's the 50 and over league, or the over 50 league as we call it, but we let you in if you're 47. So they kind of knock it down a little bit. And I did a lot of running Friday night, like way more than normal, and we lost, but I did a lot of running.
Well, that's what's important.
Yeah, it kicked my ass. Saturday, I have played a lot of zombies, getting them camos with my friend. And then I decided he left to go out at like 11. And I said, you know what? I finished the Avengers Tower. The light kit came in. Let me add the light kit to the Lego Avengers Tower. I started at 11:30. I finished at 3:30 in the morning.
So 11:30 in the morning you started.
No, 11:30 at night.
Oh, okay.
To 3:30 in the morning. It was a 4
That's
hour. The wires are real tiny and thin, and it's real fragile, and you got to put them in these little tiny little circuit boards and connect them up. And they don't send you instructions in the box. You have to log to a website and a PDF or a video. So I had to blow the PDF up to like 200%, and you have to take apart half of it to run the wires and then run but it looks amazing. It really does.
I saw some pictures. It looks pretty awesome. I'm sure they'll go up on the Geek Spot news site soon, so everybody can see them.
I have the time lapse. I have the Razor Crest. I have the Ventnor, and I have this one that I have to stitch this one together. I did
You built
not.
a street from Monopoly?
Huh? No. What was the Star Wars?
The Ventnor?
That's what I said. Isn't that it?
What's that?
Isn't that their big?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that's the UCS.
I thought it was like Ventnor Avenue you were talking about. I was very confused.
No. It's now you gotta make me look it up. It's the Venator. Yeah, Venator. Not
Oh, the Venator. Got it.
Venator. So I have the videos. Now I did not videotape myself putting the lights up because that would be a very not safe for work video. There's a lot of cursing involved in that. Lots and lots of cursing. And then Sunday, I watched a movie, one that
Oh
I
my
had
god.
never seen before.
Was it Shawshank Redemption?
It was
Oh, wait,
not.
that's me. That's me that never saw that one. My friend Chris that listens to our show was very upset with me.
Yeah, you almost have no room to talk to me, but that's okay. No, I watched a movie on the Apple TV network.
Oh,
Mm.
which one?
I watched The Family Plan.
Okay.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. The one not Total Recall. What am I thinking of? Jamie Lee Curtis and True Lies.
Yes, the True Lies remake.
Yeah, but not to be confused with the True Lies remake TV show they did with the guy from Reba and Shameless.
Correct. Yes. This was a typical Mark Wahlberg action movie at some point. There were a lot of highs. No, I'm sorry. There were a couple of highs and there were a lot of lows. And it's not a good movie. There's some chuckles. Michelle Monaghan's great in it. She plays his wife. Um, um, I hold on. I was just pulling it up to see who was in it because there's a
So normal Wahlberg, where a lot of jokes ended up like they're supposed to come right at you, and they end up over there a little ways,
little
and then you got
bit,
to look and be like, "Oh, there it was. I
little
saw
bit,
that."
little bit. Ciaran Hands is in it. He plays one of the major bad guy.
Well, that's what he does. He's not
Way less,
typecast or anything.
way less CGI than in Justice League. He was
I'm
actually
sure.
present for this one.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's he was a he's a government assassin, and he left that life behind and started a family. And I'm not going to spoil it for anyone else that wants to watch it, but there's a lot of growth in his family, and
Let me guess. His past comes back to
his
haunt
past
him.
comes back, and there's a swerve and a twist, and uh and while they're driving from Buffalo to Las Vegas, because that's fun for a family of four with a little baby.
No.
Um, at one point, he needs to stay off social media, and without telling his family doesn't know anything yet. And this is the only spoiler I'll give: is he gets all of their phones because they're going to have a technology-free trip, and as they're crossing a bridge, he throws them out the car window into the ocean
So
or into the lake.
as a father in modern times,
Yes.
I can say that the last thing I would ever do would be to take technology away from my children on a
Yes.
drive of 3 days, let alone
Oh, he did it in
or
less than
on a
3
drive
days.
of like no. Oh, to Vegas in 3 days? He did it less? That's great.
Well,
Um,
maybe it was just about 3 days, but he drove all through the night at one point.
well, good.
I mean,
Even a drive of like 2 hours, I wouldn't take their technology away
no,
from them.
same.
Um,
I made the
not at this
mistake
point.
of driving an hour with my kids and telling them no video games or anything. They were miserable. It was
I'm
an
sure.
hour.
They give that look of staring out the window like they've given up hope on life. Like they're never gonna get out of this. It's great.
I tried putting fun songs on. Um, they all had earbuds and headphones in because they still had those at least.
Oh, well,
And
that's good.
while he was driving through Chicago and the motorcycle portion of the gang came after him, he linked all of their headsets with one push of the button on the screen on the car, and then turned it up really loud, and it didn't
Oh,
wake anybody up while he beat the people up in the car or from the car as they were trying to kill him, jerking the minivan all over the place, and nobody woke up. The baby watched the whole thing though.
it's good. I think what I'm learning about Apple, based on everything I've heard about Argyle,
Yeah,
that came out this weekend,
I have a little.
is that Apple might be the place for TV shows right now, but movies not so much their thing.
No.
Especially if you watched their Spirited movie last year or 2 years ago with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. It was
I
something.
did. Wait, did I watch that
It
one?
was all of the worst things you could have adapted from Scrooge and A Christmas Carol in one place, and a musical.
Oh my. Hold on. I have to open all
Yeah.
my tabs again.
Yeah, I forgot. I watched something too, or
What did you
started
watch?
something. I'm
What
not
did you
done, but
I
after
started
last week.
I started Succession.
Oh, well, that's good. I have to start that still. Maybe we'll sync up on that
No,
soon.
we won't.
But
No,
I
we won't.
feel like you're going to slow roll that or
Yeah,
not finish
I
it.
got like a minute and a half in, and I was like, "Ooh, let me watch this Marky Mark movie."
Got it.
Yeah.
So I started Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Is that out? Oh, that's right. You started the
I
cartoon.
started the anime.
The animated. I'm sorry.
I am well. So we talked about it all the time, and I thought it was like super long, like One Piece, and like it was not an entryable
No, it's
place,
long.
right? So it was 3 seasons, 62 episodes. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
and they're only 22 minutes long. I was like, I can burn through that.
Yeah.
So I'm a season and a half in, so I'm halfway through season 2.
Oh, I think Dom just exploded in happiness within himself.
I'm sure. It is fantastic. Like I totally get the hype. All the hype is completely worth it for this show.
All right. So when is the TV show coming out or the movie?
2.5 weeks.
Okay. Is it worth it for me to so I was going to try and go into the show without having watched the animated. I was going to watch the live action one.
So I watched the first season, then I went and watched the trailer because the trailer, it looks like it's going to be season 1 of the show.
Okay.
Or close to it. Which hopefully that means they're already filming season 2. Because they cast age appropriate, it seems like. Which will be an issue real quick when your lead character is 12.
Right.
Though it is Netflix, so that means they'll wait till the kid's 17 and then do the second season when he's not supposed to age. But anyway, I don't know that you need to.
Okay.
But I think you'll get a lot more from the anime and then the show.
Okay.
Though look, we could also do it where you watch the show because I know you didn't watch One Piece yet.
What's One Piece?
Yeah. So where you didn't watch One Piece yet, but for Avatar, we can both watch the live action, and I will have the context of the anime, and you won't.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay
and
with it.
And then we can see how that plays out, and then you can go back and watch the anime because I think if it's close to as good as One Piece was, you'll want to know what's going to happen next and not wait 2 years for it.
Okay. Fair. I was.
And it seems like that's what they're going to do with it. Where this first season is going to be season 1 of the anime, which is really a shame because there's some filler episodes for sure.
Sure.
And Dom Katara is easily my favorite on the show so far. I think they're all really well done, but it's between her and probably Appa. But yeah, I'm season 2, episode 10 right now, so there's still a lot going on. But I completely buy into the hype, and I'm glad they're doing the live action version. But it makes me nervous, especially with the schedule we just got from Netflix for this year.
I have that,
and how they're slow rolling some things that it could get problematic pretty quick.
I have that. Yeah, so that's fine. I had spoken with Dom about doing that anyway, about not getting caught up in the animated version and just watching it blind. Basically watching the live action version, and then we'll see if I enjoy it enough to want to go back and watch the animated parts of it. I might not. I don't know. I can't. I'm not closing the door on it like I do so many other things.
Yeah, I can. I don't know how the live action will be, but I can say the anime is delightful.
You mentioned Argyle, which opened this weekend. Now Dom went and saw it. Dom made a review on his channel on the Ace Avenue, and he enjoyed it. I haven't watched his review yet because I kind of want to see the movie because it's got my favorite actor in it at the moment.
Sam Rockwell?
Yes, Sam Rockwell.
I heard John Cena's in it, but I haven't seen him in anything for it. So.
Who?
John Cena. Yeah.
Oh. Argyle had a $200 million budget.
Oh.
And opened to $35 million. And it doesn't look like it may make back its money.
No, I don't think that it will based on what I've been hearing.
No. It was number 1 at the box office, but it has not made a dent. It actually released behind Killers of the Flower Moon, which made 44, and Napoleon, which made 78.8, but that was over Thanksgiving Day weekend.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
Well, so far from a Rotten Tomatoes standpoint, it's a 71% audience score.
Yeah.
So the audience is enjoying it, it seems like. The critics are not enjoying it.
No, and I don't listen to the critics anyway. It's got a big time cast. It's got Henry Cavill, Ariana DeBois, Sophia Boutella, Catherine O'Hara, who was just cast in um, the hell was she just
Last of
cast?
Us season
The
2.
Last of Us season 2 as a mystery character. Bryce Dallas Howard, John Cena, Dua Lipa, Samuel L. Jackson, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, and Rob Delaney. It's got a huge, great cast. And apparently it's got a lot of little twists and turns, and it's, you know, I'll go see it because I have to, because I want to.
Well, it'll be on Apple TV soon enough
Probably yes.
because it is an Apple property.
Probably pretty fast. Dom says that people are either going to love it or hate it. It's extremely over the top, and they're not afraid to go for it. If you like the Kingsman movies, he recommends that you'll like this. I like when they go over the top in some of these movies, and they really go for it. I do.
Look, I really enjoyed the first 2 Kingsman movies. The Kingsman was fine, not as good as the first 2 because I think Matthew Vaughn is seems to have started to pull a little more of a Taika Waititi with this stuff, which is like, this is what I'm into. I'm going to lean into this because now they're giving me checks for that. And that would be my only concern with Argyle, is that he leans into the not parts that everybody else love, but the parts that he can get away with now that he's, got the money and the backing for it.
Sticking with Henry Cavill, he is the Highlander reboot script is, according to him, going extraordinarily well. He's a fan of the movies, and he's a huge fan of the lore of the TV show. So
Okay.
I kind of hope they mix the two. I enjoyed the TV show for the most part. I really enjoyed the movies. The second one was okay.
It is on the list of worst movies ever, if I've heard properly.
It was.
I remember it being fine.
It was fine. I mean, Sean
but for
Connery
me, it was
little miscast.
Oh, that's the second one?
Is that the second? No, wait. I'm sorry.
That's the first one.
It's still miscast a little bit.
Yeah, Sean Connery is a Spaniard. Yeah.
Yes. Also Spongers.
Yeah, of course. Brilliant move on their part.
Yeah. But Henry's he's very happy with how things are going with it. I'll watch it because, again, I really did like.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the test to see if Henry Cavill actually has the star power everybody keeps telling him does, and it's not the IPs he's been in.
I'll tell you what, Matthew Vaughn has been pretty chatty lately because he directed Argyle, and he revealed to Henry Cavill that Henry Cavill lost the role of James Bond to Daniel Craig because he was too young at the time. That's what the producer said.
Yeah, well, he was like 21, 22, right?
Can you imagine how different his career path would have been and the James Bond franchise would have been if they had cast him at 21? You'd still be making James Bond movies right now. He never would have got Superman. That whole Snyderverse would have went a different way.
I mean, for as much work as he did on the DC stuff, he could have done both.
Yeah,
he just wouldn't have been allowed to wear a tux. That's the, like, you can't be Bruce Wayne if you're
correct.
If you're James Bond, but you could absolutely still be Superman.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see that he was actually like it was him and Daniel Craig. Those were the two left.
Yeah, look, I think he fits more into the historical type for James Bond than Daniel Craig did. But there was that raw grittiness that Daniel Craig brought to the role that you wouldn't have gotten. That really made those movies stand apart from all the rest of them. Yeah. Until the last one. The last one was okay, but I think that was a hey, I got to come back and do this. Let's just get it over with.
Yeah,
I think that last one felt like obligatory.
He was over it.
100%.
Our one of my other favorite actors, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage desperately wants to be in a Star Trek movie. He had been in talks about joining the cast of Star Trek 4. That kind of fell through a little bit.
Is that a Quest for Peace?
That was this is the new that was Star Trek 4, the old one. I actually you'll love this. You're going to hate me. So well, let me finish the Cage thing first. He specifically stated that he wants to be on the USS Enterprise in some capacity, preferably on the bridge rather than floating in space outside. He emphasizes that he would want a script that allows him to add his own flavor and spark to the role, as he has a deep love for the franchise. Can you imagine a lieutenant grade Nicolas Cage character on the bridge of the Enterprise? Like, to me, that blows my mind how awesome.
I mean, you do it as a flashback to a young Khan before it all went wrong.
Could be. But
and not that he could be young is the problem, but like, because imagine him as Khan. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the over the topness for it. It's got he definitely has the over the topness. I browse YouTube at work and at home, and I'll just kind of look at some clips of stuff. And for some weird
reason, watching it at home on your off time.
Yeah, well, for some weird reason, I was getting a ton of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan clips showing up, and I hadn't searched for this, but they just were there. I guess maybe I was talking about it, and Alexa heard me and was like, "Here you go." And so I went, you know what? My boss was out last week. I went, oh, well, what the hell? I watched Star Trek 2 at work. Then I watched Star Trek 3 at work.
Oh my God.
And I watched Star Trek 4 at work. Then I watched Star Trek 5 at work. So last week, not in one day, but last week, I watched 2, 3, 4, and 5 and found a new appreciation for William Shatner. So many holes in those movies, but they're just so fun if you like that kind of a thing.
Yeah, look, I have fond memories of all of them. I think I saw all of those once, maybe twice for a few of them, and all the ones since I think I've seen once, maybe. But look, I enjoy all of them. They're just not something I go back to the well of. I mean, I watched the original series a handful of times, and Next Gen.
Can't go back and watch the original. I watched some episodes of the original series, but
I still have it all in my queue for Paramount Plus, and I just haven't gotten there yet for all the new stuff.
The new stuff's so good. It's so good.
Well, it seems like you're still going to be in a lull for anything decent coming out for a while, so I will probably start burning into that soon. The problem is every time I light Netflix up, there's like 15 shows staring at me. They're like, you didn't watch this yet.
I stopped going to Netflix. Although Netflix released its slate of what's coming this year.
It did some things missing.
Some things missing. They have a lot of stuff coming out. We have Rebel Moon 2 is coming out on April 19th.
Oh, that's sooner than I thought. Okay.
I have to watch Rebel Moon 1.
But apparently it doesn't matter because you have to watch the director's cut, which comes out in July.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll wait.
That's what Zack Snyder even said. I'm like, why would you tell people to not go watch your movie?
Because he already got his money. He already got his money from Netflix.
He's so dumb.
He is. Are you a Outer Banks guy?
No.
Okay. Bridgerton? No, not your thing?
I have seen parts of every season because it's on in my house every season.
Gotcha. Well, it'll be on part 1, May 16th, 2024. Part 2, June 13th, 2024.
God,
season 3.
Damn it with these part 1 and 2s.
Right. And it's only it's a month apart.
Just release it weekly. Like it's enough.
It's a month apart.
I'm enough with the breaks.
I'm jumping around the list because there's not Cobra Kai season 6 started production, so that's coming out later this year. Umbrella Academy is at some point this year, probably closer to the I think fall.
Yeah, I think that did they release their full year at Netflix or just the first?
It doesn't say. It just says 20.
I thought it was only the first half, and then I heard all these stories about things we're not getting this year.
Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. July 3rd, 2024. Come July 4th weekend.
Okay. So,
I'll be
so
watching that the minute that comes out. I'll probably do a Beverly Hills Cop rewatch leading up to it because there's a 30-year gap, and I have to make sure that I'm primed for that 30-year gap in that
I
last
mean,
movie in Disney.
yeah, it's not gonna matter.
No. We got Hitman. Is it the same Hitman with
Another Hitman?
is this the same Hitman? It just I don't have a of who's in it. This is just the names of
I would assume they're doing another remake of Hitman.
this is a movie coming out June 7th.
It's action star with the shaved head, like they did Rupert Friend. They did I forget the other ones, but they've done it 2 or 3 times already in the theater in movies.
We got Squid Game season 2 comes out in this year.
Okay.
Unfrosted, the Pop-Tart Story, a Jerry Seinfeld movie coming out May 3rd.
Yeah, look, I saw some of the previews for that. I think it's got Melissa McCarthy, some other.
Yeah.
Looks fun. It's
Yeah.
all good. Look, some of these
It's on
wacky
Netflix.
documentaries and stuff are interesting.
Avatar, as we mentioned, February 22nd, and The Night Agent season 2 is at some point this year.
Not this year. Stranger Things and Wednesday.
Oh wow.
So Stranger Things will be like a 4-5 year gap between season 4 and season 5.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like, I guess they're going to finally do the time jump they've been teasing, because it is wicked long to have these kids. It's supposed to be a consistent story that's like one thing into the next where it picks up, and these kids are going to walk back in as like adults.
Right.
Because it's been 10 years now since I think we started the show. Almost. Yeah, I think it's been 7 or 8 since the show started, and the kids, that's gets back to the problem with Avatar, right? Like if it's the Netflix timeline, and on Kevin Smith's one of his podcasts this week, he was talking about the Netflix algorithm. So like with the He-Man, right? They did Revolution or Revelation before this was Revolution. Revelation was the first one.
Right.
They had to wait for 3 months after it aired to get the algorithmic data to determine whether or not it hit to do a new season. So in an animated world, right, that's 2 years at least to get voice act to re-sign contracts, because now everybody's out of contract. So you got to re-sign everybody's contract. You got to get them all back in. Get the animation studio working, right? You got to do all that stuff. Write the whole thing. He's like, the writing is the fastest part. He's like, we wrote it quick. And the new season, like I said, was great.
Yeah, he was raving about it on the Babylon podcast about how everybody's watching it.
Yeah, and then but he got into it, and he's like, you have to wait for the data to come back to determine whether or not you get. So like this one, he's like, this season seems to be great. He's like, I won't know for 3 to 4 months if we get renewed for another season because we won't have the data back.
Well, he'll be writing Jay and Silent Bob 6.
Yeah. Well, look, he's already doing 3.
Yeah.
So, but with that too, for anybody here that knows any of the Kevin Smith stuff, Mark Bernardin from that show also put out a short film. He did it's like 15, 20 minutes long, called Splinter. It's crowdfunded. He's been running through all the film festivals and all those things for the last year or two. It's actually won a bunch of awards. He dropped it out to the public Friday.
Nice.
Just released it on social media.
Nice.
Send out the link. It is awesome. It's super. It's
short,
great.
Right?
There's all these.
It's short.
It's a short. Yeah, it's a short film. Like I said, it's like 15 minutes long, maybe 20. And it's got a bunch of actors and actresses that that are in key roles in it, and it's just really well written. And like, I want to see a longer version because he creates a really fascinating world in that stretch. That's like, I really wonder what led to this and what's gone on around it, and like,
right.
But it's really well done. So you can check that out at, I think it's splinterfilm.com, or you can go look at Mark Bernardin's Facebook or social media pages, and he's posted the link on there to go watch it. But it is it's really well done for his first foray into it. But if you don't know who Mark Bernardin is, for anybody listening, he's written on Picard. He wrote on the first season of the Stephen King Castle Rock. He was on the show they did that was based on the Bourne trilogy. And he's worked on Picard. He's worked on a bunch of shows. He helped write a bunch of the Kevin Smith stuff. He's made some cameos in those things. He's working on the new Wakanda show, and he's working on the video game that is Black Panther and Captain America back in World War II. And he
Ooh, I
just
didn't
wrote a
even
new
know that
Mace
was a
Windu.
video game.
Yeah. They announced it like 2 years ago. But video games, I mean, even longer lead time than a Netflix show.
Right.
And then he also is writing a Mace Windu comic that's just getting released this week.
I am actually after reading this afternoon, the Peter Pan horror movie.
Oh my god,
I'm in.
I hadn't heard about this one.
I'm in. I'm actually all in. The upcoming Peter Pan horror movie, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, will focus on Wendy attempting to rescue her abducted brother Michael from a villainous version of Peter Pan. Tinkerbell, in this version, is portrayed as hooked on heroin instead of pixie dust. That sold it for me. That right there sold it for me.
I mean, look, the Peter Pan story
Yeah.
can get really dark really fast, easily. Whereas you view it as his arch nemesis is Captain Hook because Captain Hook's one of the Lost Boys that wanted to grow up.
Yep.
And now they fight because Captain Hook's is trying to free the Lost Boys from the tyranny of being stuck by Peter Pan as little kids forever. There's like some really cool ways to take that story. So
it's a mesh between Switchblade Romance and The Black Phone with our own spin on it. It is a nasty, violent, and incredibly dark movie.
Now, this wasn't a public domain thing, right?
Yeah, it was. This is all still public domain stuff. This is attached to the Winnie the Pooh movie, like universally.
But I thought Peter Pan was written well before that.
I don't.
Maybe
know.
not.
I just know what I'm reading.
I thought it was more than 100 years old for Peter Pan, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm just knowing what I'm reading. And the last general thing. Some Yellowstone news for you.
Oh dear God.
Oh yeah.
It's canceled finally.
The return of the original Yellowstone cast members in an upcoming spinoff could be in jeopardy over a reported pay dispute for their future appearances. Cole Hauser, who plays Rip, Kelly Riley, who plays, I forget her name because I haven't seen the show in so long, his daughter, and Luke Grimes, who plays his son, all could return, but Hauser and Riley want a significant pay increase that is still being negotiated. Paramount still has to pay cast members for what would have been Yellowstone Season 6, despite the series ending with Season 5.
You don't suppose this has to do with Sheridan and Hauser still being involved in a lawsuit, too, for having a coffee or a cowboy on his coffee company?
Well, here's the salaries. So Kelly Riley is asking for $1.2 million per episode, down from her initial demand of $1.5. Cole Hauser wants $1.25 million. Paramount's current offer is $850,000 per episode, with an increase to $950,000 per episode in season 2 of the spinoff.
I mean, he's barely in the regular show, so I get it that he's a star. Cole Hauser.
Sure. He's in it a lot.
I mean, Rip's in it. He's not as much as her. I mean, she is the show.
They also want to be the highest.
Awful.
They also want to be the highest on the call sheet, even above the incoming stars of the new show. Yeah.
I mean, you put him in 2 episodes, whatever.
Right.
And
now,
then you kill him off.
Matthew McConaughey may not be in the upcoming spinoff if he doesn't see a script. However, the female lead is further along in negotiations for a role in the spinoff. That would be Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, so McConaughey and Pfeiffer?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, we'll see which way they.
And finally, a representative of Kevin Costner is asking for him to return to the Yellowstone and finish John Dutton's story, the second half of season 5. Taylor Sheridan is reportedly happy with how the show wraps up without Kevin Costner.
I mean, look, you time jump 3 months and say the cancer came back and the dude's gone. Like, it's that easy.
That's all you got to do.
Like, that's what they're going to do. It's been written into is an easy out since the first season of the show.
Before we go over to, I want you to do the Saturn Award stuff before we go into the other news, but really fast. Have you heard any of this wrestling stuff that's been going on? Because like, I know we normally, like, after pay-per-view, we'll kind of like I'll throw a little bit. This has hit mainstream media now. Like, this has hit TMZ. This has hit like Sports Center, like everybody's reporting on this.
I've
So
heard Vince McMahon is
not that.
getting caught doing some not great things. There's
Right.
other stuff.
So the Vince McMahon thing is so high profile that they went and they had to do something to bring the focus off of Vince McMahon. I'll make a long story short. The pay-per-view Royal Rumble, pay-per-view, PLE, whatever. The Royal Rumble event just happened. CM Punk got injured, and allegedly the change was the finish was changed. CM Punk was supposed to win the Royal Rumble and go on to challenge Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Night 1, boom. Night 2 was supposed to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. It's here in Philadelphia. That's what everybody wanted to see. Apparently now, because CM Punk got injured during the match, Cody Rhodes ended up winning the Royal Rumble. Everybody assumed that Cody Rhodes was going to go to WrestleMania and face Roman Reigns and win the belt because that's the whole thing. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, was named to the board of TKO, which is the company that owns WWE.
Okay.
Part of his deal to be on the board was that he gets to wrestle Roman Reigns in the main event at WrestleMania. The Rock is due a $30 million payout as long as he wrestles once in 2024. That's part of his deal. So at the show on Friday night at SmackDown, Cody Rhodes came to the ring. Roman Reigns was in the ring. This was supposed to be the big, I'm coming for you at WrestleMania. And Cody Rhodes said, I'm not coming for you at WrestleMania. And The Rock's music came, and out comes The Rock. They shook hands. Cody Rhodes leaves. As Cody's leaving, he looks really dejected and unhappy. This video clip has got 600,000 dislikes on YouTube. It is the most disliked video in the history of the WWE. The blowback from this move is so huge. They edited the video and took out Cody Rhodes walking away disappointed and re-put the video out and disabled the dislike button.
So I'm guessing the storyline logic was that Cody would beat Roman because Roman's been undefeated for like 5 years now or something, right?
It's almost 3 years. He's almost past Hulk Hogan as the third longest reigning champion in their history ever.
Okay.
Only he's worked a third of the dates that Hulk Hogan worked back then.
But Cody should beat him, right? But there's no way that The Rock's going to win because The Rock's not going to defend it.
That's not true. That's part of the problem is The Rock was pushing to win the belt at WrestleMania.
Because I can't see him losing. It's in his every contract he's ever done that he doesn't lose.
Well, that's movies. This is wrestling. Definitely loses sometimes in wrestling, but it's gotten so big and it's so in 2015 they had the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia. Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble and the fans were not happy about it and they booed. The Rock came out and raised his hand because they're related and the whole Samoan thing. The Rock came out and raised Roman's hand in the middle of the ring in Philadelphia and was booed. And they weren't happy about that. Fast forward to 2024, if you have The Rock and Roman Reigns fight for the main event at WrestleMania in Philadelphia, the boos will be deaf. You'll hear the boos at your house.
Yeah, that's fair. So what night are you going to WrestleMania?
I have tickets for night 2, which was supposed to be the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match. Now Seth Rollins is also injured. He has a torn meniscus, as a la Joel Embiid, and I think his meniscus. No, I'm sorry. CM Punk has the torn meniscus. Seth Rollins has a couple of ACL, MCL, something like that. He's got some shit going on there. There's a lot of people injured, so they're having to twist and turn. Now there's a big press conference Thursday in Las Vegas, Super Bowl week. Smart of them to announce this WrestleMania event. So there's still time for them to pivot and go away from this. But the hashtag We Want Cody is trending #1 in the United States and in the world right now on Twitter.
Okay.
People hate this whole move. It's so crazy. And
what are the odds that you get Jason and Travis Kelce at WrestleMania in Philadelphia to turn it all around?
Jason. Joel Embiid will be there. Jason Kelce will be there. Lane Johnson's a huge Steve Austin fan and has already like done stuff with Steve Austin.
He kind of looks like Steve Austin, so that's fair.
No, they'll definitely be there. The Eagles were presented with a wrestling championship belt. They do that to every NFL team in the city that they go to. They have one for Philadelphia. Yeah, they'll absolutely be in there. As a matter of fact, Joel Embiid real fast got fined for doing the DX chop by the NBA.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Triple H paid the fine.
Did he pay oh God, Coy Detmer's fine all those years ago when he did it to Brett Favre in Green Bay before they decided to demolish the Eagles the rest of the game?
Yeah. No, he did not, because he didn't have that money or power back then.
It's a deep cut from my part, by the way.
It's a very deep cut. That's a little bit of wrestling news. It'll be interesting to see how they manage this, because the blowback is way more than they didn't expect The Rock to ever get booed. And there was a house show the other night and they showed the video and it got a lot of boos.
Clearly they didn't see Black Adam then.
It'll be interesting to see what happens tonight on Monday Night Raw, to see if see how they mute the crowd or turn the crowd down for TV, because the crowd's going to go, like, they're going to start chanting "We want Cody," and it's going to be fun.
It sounds like it'll be fun. Well, I'm excited to see what happens.
So am I. You're not, but that's fine. I appreciate.
I'm excited for you to see what happens and tell me. Is where I think I'm at with it.
All right. You wanted to. I did not look at the.
Well, let's just hit the Grammys real quick, and then we'll do the Saturn.
I know
awards.
Nothing about the Grammys.
Me either. I watched. I threw it in the ad for tonight, so I figured I'd at least mention it. It was a night for the women. They won like everything except for best rap album went to Killer Mike. It was Taylor Swift and SZA and Lainey Wilson and Billie Eilish and Victoria Monet. I do not know if she's related to Janelle Monáe, but possibly. For me not knowing anything. And I did watch for like 5 minutes last night, and I just happened to tune in right before Luke Combs and Tracy Chapman did Fast Car, and it was stellar.
I saw like a minute. I can't find the whole thing anywhere yet. I saw about a minute and a half of it, and it sounded phenomenal. And it's
probably all on Paramount Plus, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And then Joni Mitchell also performed. 80 years old, first time she ever performed at the Grammys.
No shit.
Still recovering from a brain aneurysm she had about a decade ago, but I saw a little clip of that too, and that was great. So that was like I said, figured I'd touch on it just because I threw it in the print for tonight's show.
That was all you.
So all right, so the Saturn Awards happened this weekend. You and I don't know anything about the Saturn Awards.
I know a little bit. I know they're like the sci-fi Grammys.
So they are presented by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films to honor the best in science fiction, fantasy, horror, and other genres in film, television, and home entertainment.
Yeah, I see. Is it a Canadian? It's a Canadian thing or no?
No. That's the Gemini Awards, I believe.
Because I remember seeing in the past different shows that I like Stargate and Star Treks, and they always say Saturn Award winner, but I never looked.
Yeah, so this was they have some genres for best film and best actor. Some of them I'm going to ask you which one you think won. Some I'm just going to tell you. So best superhero film out of all the films that came out last year, including Wakanda Forever, Blue Beetle, The Flash, Quantumania, and Guardians 3.
Guardians 3.
Yeah. Like I said, that was pretty easy.
That's a layup.
Sci-fi film. It was The Creator, Megan, Prey, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, or Avatar Way of the Water.
I'd have to go Avatar because that wins fucking everything.
You're doing good so far.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see where this goes. Best fantasy film.
Oh, okay.
There's Dungeons and Dragons, Haunted Mansion, The Little Mermaid, Barbie, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Which one do you think won for best fantasy film?
Best fantasy film would have to be Dungeons and Dragons.
You, sir, are incorrect. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny won best fantasy film.
Well, it was a fantasy.
Saturn Awards.
It definitely was a fantasy.
I'd hit best horror film, but I know you did not see any of these.
No, I did not.
Talk to Me, Barbarian, Evil Dead Rise, Insidious, The Red Door, Renfield, Scream 6, Smile.
I'm gonna go with Resident Evil.
That wasn't on there. but that's cool.
Evil Dead is the one I meant.
You're very
Evil
close.
Dead
You're
is the
both.
one that I meant.
Here's Deadite, Zombies, same thing. No, it was Talk to Me, which I'm not even sure what that was, but I'm sure that Charles over in the chat knows. All right. Best action adventure film.
Okay.
This is actually a pretty impressive list here. So Fast X,
Ooh.
Bullet Train,
Okay.
The Equalizer 3, The
Okay.
Woman King, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, or John Wick Chapter 4.
John Wick.
Mission Impossible.
Wow. I still haven't seen John Wick or Mission Impossible.
Yeah. All right. And then I got two more quick film ones, and then I want to hit some of the actor ones because I was intrigued by some of the choices for best actors and some things. So best thriller film.
Oh.
They also have some really weird categories here.
Okay.
Best thriller film, The Menu, Knock at the Cabin, The Lesson, Glass Onion, Don't Worry, Darling, or Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. It's the only one I know.
Don't Worry, Darling was the one with Harry Styles and all those people, I think, wasn't it? And Glass Onions, the Ryan Johnson Knives Out Part 2.
Oh, okay.
Knock at the Cabin was the one with Dave Bautista, the M. Night Shyamalan. John.
Gotcha.
All right, best animated film. Super Mario Brothers movie, Teenage Turtles Mutant Mayhem, Elemental, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Suzume, or Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, all right. Best actress in a film.
Okay.
We had Amber Midthunder from Prey, who was the lead in Prey, the Predator movie.
Yep.
We had Mia Goth from Pearl.
Okay.
We had Viola Davis as the Woman King. Anya Taylor-Joy for The Menu. Zoe Saldana for Avatar, or Margot Robbie for Barbie.
I want to say Margot Robbie, but I have a feeling Avatar is going to sweep everything. I'm going Margot Robbie.
It was Margot Robbie.
Oh, good.
Well done.
Good.
So yes, Avatar did win 4 awards.
Okay.
They did. I skipped over those. They won Best Film Direction, Best Film Writing.
Yeah, I don't care.
And something else along the way. We'll see what it was. So Best Actor in a Film. Chris Pratt for Guardians, Keanu Reeves for John Wick, Sam Worthington for Avatar, Ben Kingsley for Jules, Ralph Fiennes for The Menu, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, or Harrison Ford for Indiana Jones.
I got to go Harrison Ford.
Did you see Indiana Jones and the Dial
I
of Destiny?
saw it, but they gave it best.
You're going Harrison.
They gave it best fantasy movie. I got to go Harrison.
All right, you would be correct going Harrison.
Oh my God. He beat out Chris Pratt. Oh, you beat out
Keanu Reeves.
Wow.
Cillian Murphy. Ralph Fiennes. Yeah.
I'm sure Ralph Fiennes was better than he was in The Menu.
So thinking along those lines, best supporting actor. We have Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. Michael Keaton for The Flash. You have Stephen Lang for Avatar, who, oh my God, is so good in that. Mads Mikkelsen for Indiana Jones. Ryan Gosling for Barbie, or Nicolas Cage for Renfield. That is a loaded field.
I want Nicolas Cage to win, but you kind of hedged it, and I'm going to have to say Mads Mikkelsen.
Are you?
Yeah.
Did you see Renfield?
No.
You really need to see Renfield.
I know.
Because it won Nicolas Cage a Saturn.
That's phenomenal. He was only in his
portrayal of Dracula. Minutes, right? No, he's in it quite a bit.
Okay.
But he is great. That Renfield was a blast.
Absolutely awesome.
I think it's on Peacock. It's just streaming on Peacocock. But it's Nicholas Hoult is great, and Nicolas Cage is phenomenal and so over the top. Everything you'd want.
He's your Lex Luthor.
All right, couple more of these. Since it's a technical error list this week. All right, so best supporting actress.
Okay.
You have Jane Curtin from Jules.
Oh, these are movies, right?
In a
Not
film,
TV
yeah.
show.
Melissa McCarthy for The Little Mermaid.
Yuck.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge for Indiana Jones.
Oh God.
Sophie Wilde for Talk to Me. Angela Bassett for Wakanda Forever, or Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer.
I'm gonna say Angela Bassett, since she got kind of screwed out of the Oscar there.
And she should have won. She did not. Emily Blunt won.
I'll take that.
And then just before we get over to TV, I want to hit this one because this one I didn't realize this was a category even.
Oh,
Best younger actor in a film.
okay. All right.
Vivian Lyra Blair from The Boogeyman, Holly Bailey from The Little Mermaid, Jack Champion from Avatar, Violet McCraw from Megan 3, Yolo Mariduena for Blue Beetle, or Noah Schnapp for The Tutor.
Blue Beetle.
Yes, Blue Beetle took that one.
Okay.
Hold on. So all right. So television. We'll just do this series in this one. A couple of these.
Okay.
All right. So best sci-fi show. Loaded Field. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Silo. The Mandalorian. Andor. Foundation. The Peripheral. Or Picard. Think about that list. That was all in the last year and a half.
Really good list. I actually saw 3 of them.
You still need to see Silo. It's so good.
I'm going to go. I'm assuming it's going to be season 3 of Picard, so I'm going to go with Picard.
Okay, good choice. Picard took that one.
It was either that or Strange New Worlds. I was going to go.
All right, best fantasy. Good Omens. I would assume season 2. House of the Dragon. Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power. Schmigadoon. Wednesday. Ghosts. Or Mayfair Witches. Another super loaded.
Yeah, the second one you said, I forget. What was the second one?
Whatever the second one I said, it was not that.
Okay.
It was that was House of the Dragon.
Yeah, that's the one.
Wednesday won best fantasy.
Okay.
Best action adventure thriller TV series.
Ooh.
Jack Ryan, The Witcher, Yellow Jackets, Manifest, Outlander, La Brea, Quantum Leap. There you've seen a few.
Quantum Leap.
No. Outlander like season 6.
I'm behind.
I don't even understand how that beat Manifest or Yellow Jackets because both of those shows were brilliant.
Shockingly, I'm behind on Quantum Leap.
Yeah. All right, let me see. What else we want to hit here? So we got best superhero television series.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
This might be in our wheelhouse, right?
A little bit.
All right, we got The Sandman.
Okay.
The Flash, She-Hulk, Stargirl, Doom Patrol, Superman and Lois, or Secret Invasion.
Sandman.
Should have 100% won.
Right.
No.
If
Superman
Secret
and
Invasion
Lois.
won, what? Okay. I can take Superman
Doom
and
Patrol
Lois.
I also would have given because it was its last season. It was brilliant for 4 years.
Now, I do know who won Best Supporting Actor because I saw that in a headline. Jonathan Frakes got that for Captain William Riker in Picard.
He did. Picard was strong in the TV. It wouldn't be a guess. Yeah. It was Patrick Stewart for Best Actor. Best Actress was actually the chick from Outlander. Kaitriona Balfe.
The Saturns are fun.
Jonathan Frakes, Jerry Ryan, both won.
Gosh, you're so good. They were both so good.
Best guest star was Paul Wesley.
Yep, for Strange New Worlds, Captain Kirk.
Yep. Best performance by a younger actor for TV was Jenna Ortega for Wednesday. So not included in the best actress, which is weird as the lead because I guess of her age.
Right.
She gets bumped.
22, 21, 22?
She's already started 2 Scream movies.
Yeah, she's young, but she's because she's
you had that. The other Last of Us won best horror television TV series. And best animated TV series was Bad Batch.
Okay.
Let me see if there's anything else that was fun in here real quick. Home entertainment. I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, that was it. So that was life career achievement went to Jodie Foster. Dave Filoni won some award. Keanu Reeves won an award. Seth MacFarlane won an award. The Walking Dead franchise won an award.
We should do a deeper dive next year if we're still around on the Saturns because that sounds like way more fun than the Oscars and the Golden Globes, and
it does, and way more in our wheelhouse.
Way more.
Yeah, I didn't really follow the Saturns, but this list looked like it was a lot more fun this year, and we could speak to it a lot more because I saw like 2 movies nominated for Oscars this year, maybe.
Yeah,
I feel like it's
Real
probably
fast,
closer to 1.
real fast before we go, I'm gonna run through a couple of quick DC things really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
Um, Robert Downey Jr. Um, was
Mm.
lost out on being Scarecrow in Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Oh,
Yeah.
did
There's
he?
before his
That's
Iron Man turn. Yes, I see Mike's comment.
I
I
know. I
absolutely
just
see.
wanted to make sure everybody got to see Mike's comment.
Yes.
I also want to look because I feel like she was nominated.
Um, James Gunn had some stuff to say. Batman's Brave and the Bold will be released before Matt Reeves finishes his Batman trilogy. Batman Part 2 will be released October 3rd, 2025. And The Brave and the Bold could possibly arrive in theaters in 2026 or 2027, introducing the DCU's Batman. I don't know any other details on what that's going to do or how they're going to do it or what his plan is.
I think that's fine. I think we hear about that sooner rather than later this
Yeah.
year.
Um,
About who they're going to cast as Batman. I think we get that by the end of the year.
we didn't mention that he cast Supergirl. Millie Alcock from House of
I'm in.
Dragons is going to be Supergirl. The script for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow has been well received by the DCU team. So
Uh, she will be in Superman Legacy too.
she will be in
Uh,
Superman Legacy, though he's saying she might not. Then he says she is. And, you know,
Rumors I'm hearing the storyline they're going to base it off of is going to pull in her and set up her movies spinning out of it.
yeah. She's going to be a big part of the DCU. We did not mention the Carl Weathers thing. I forgot to mention at the top. Carl Weathers at 72 passed away peacefully in his sleep the other day. It's very sad.
I think he was actually scheduled to come to Philly for
He was scheduled for that.
this year.
He was directing a movie because he had to bail out of going to Boston's Fan Expo thing.
Mm.
And the final thing is, I have conflicting reports on this, and I was speaking to Danny about this. Kevin Conroy is returning as Batman in at least one more project. He's scheduled to play Bruce Wayne in Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3. I did get finished the first part. It was phenomenal.
Which I totally forgot that I knew I watched something else. We both watched Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1.
He is going to reprise his version of Batman from Batman the Animated Series. And I'll set now this article from Screen Rant quotes an article from IGN that says that he did record lines for the upcoming animated series Batman Cape Crusader. But Danny showed me a link of something that said that he had not gotten to record those lines, so I'm not 100%
sure. Bruce Timm's, the creator of the animated series that's also doing the Cape Crusader, said they were going to have him play a bit role, like just as a cameo in the new series, but he did not record any of those lines.
Okay, so
for that, but Crisis seems to be fairly confirmed that he will pop up in Part 3 of Crisis because they've been working on Crisis since the article I saw the other day, since before the CW even mentioned they were going to do Crisis. They'd been already working on this animated one.
I wanted to bring the Crisis thing up because there was a line in there. It actually made me laugh out loud. They're all on the Monitor spaceship, and Batman, who's voiced spectacularly by Jensen Ackles, he was spectacular in the gruff, like grumpy Batman.
Yeah, and he's played him in a few movies already, a few animated movies.
So he's standing there on the spaceship, and Robin comes up to him, Dick Grayson's Robin, and they interact and they talk, and of course this Batman from a different Earth doesn't know this Dick Grayson, and he tells him his name, and Batman rattles off his the Flying Graysons, blah 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 blah, and he goes, "How do we know each other?" And Dick goes, "Well, you took me in as your ward, and you raised me and taught me how to fight crime." And Batman goes, "Well, that sounds really irresponsible of me." And it just was such a one-off little line that made me really laugh. And then apparently that's in the comics or something too. But
sort of. So
right.
Those characters are from Earth 2, old, not current Earth 2, but old Earth 2 from pre-Crisis in the 60s, which was where all the Golden Age heroes were. So that was where the Jay Garrick Flash was from,
Right.
and the Al Pratt Atom, and the God, what's his name? Alan Alan Stewart, not Alan
Okay.
Stewart, whatever. Yeah, the original Green Lantern.
John.
So they were all World War II
Oh no,
heroes.
Alan.
No,
You're sorry.
yeah, they were all World War II heroes, and that was when Batman brought him in. He married Catwoman in that universe.
Yep.
They had a daughter who became the Huntress, and
Yep.
Robin didn't take over Batman. He just changed his costume and became a grown up Robin. Never became Nightwing.
Okay.
That all happened in on Earth 2 in the comics, like 70s into the 80s, once they introduced all the new characters and brought back the old ones.
Mhm.
And so that all happened, and then in this show version of it, this Batman is younger and hasn't even taken on a Robin yet. The
Gotcha.
Jensen Ackles version we get. So I haven't watched enough of the animated to know the backstory of this, but it is pretty well locked. Like they even introduced, they have the Question playing a big role in Blue Beetle. Talking
Right.
about he's from my world, because they were Charlotte in comics is
Yeah.
where those characters were all from, along with Captain Atom and a few other ones. So they're even playing like, hey, those guys haven't been in movies because they're from this other universe that we're going to bring in.
Well,
But then all these are going to be done at the end of Crisis. That's the thing with Crisis. Crisis is supposed to combine and consolidate all these
Right.
universes into one. There's not going to be this animated universe anymore. It's going to be whatever James Gunn's is, I think.
I like that I got a peek into what Amazo actually really was, as opposed to what I saw from the CW version, where he was just like
Yeah.
a quick one-off. And actually, Amazo is like this really freaking powerful, like, android. It was really good to learn that side of things, that I didn't read all those comics growing up, so I didn't know a lot of that stuff. And I was doing a lot of Googling and looking up, who the actors that are playing the roles and like what character it is in that character. And it was a little confusing. And guy at work actually told me that at the very end of that, when he pops into the prehistoric era, the Flash does, like, really fast, that guy that's chained up is Bruce Wayne. That's what he said.
Well,
That's from like World War or something.
That was from Final Crisis.
Okay.
But the weird part was that was actually from Scarterus, which is what was weird. He was there with Warlord, which is in modern times, like the comic book Warlord that they did, and that was who was there holding him. That was a weird clip.
Yeah, me. I didn't understand that. I didn't even realize who that was. I didn't look it up. I was doing something else. Thank you, Dom, for popping in.
That was a great show back in the or a great comic back in the 80s, the Warlord series. But yeah, so I mean, we'll talk more about Crisis on Infinite Earths as the more stuff comes out, and then also I finished Percy Jackson. We got the last appearance of Lance Reddick, who ends up in the finale for a few minutes in a great role. But that series, fantastic start to finish. I'll talk more about that next week.
Awesome.
But yeah, so everybody, check me out at Jack Kid Music. Check Frank out at Gimzak on the Instagrams. He's going to post pictures there. He's also going to post on some of the Geek Spot news stuff with all of his cool creations he's been building. And thanks for finding the Geek Spot, and we'll see you all next time.
I'm waiting on the Death Star. Bye, everybody.